Okay. 2.1 well, it's basically organizing data points that appear many times, called frequency, also related to midpoints and all that type of stuff. So we're going to do some charts and some graphs in just a moment. So the main thing we're going to be talking about today is a frequency distribution. So a frequency distribution lists each category of data and the number of occurrences for each category of data. We'll do an example in just a moment. No definition. Try to give you all the formulas ahead of time. The relative frequency is the proportion or percent. Let me try to write a little clearer. Or percent of observations within a category. And is found by using this formula. Now I'm gonna let you use the StatCrunch and Excel to calculate stuff, but I'm still gonna write the formula just in case it's like a short problem, because you don't want to use a bunch of fancy software if there's just like 5 data points, right? You can just do it on your calculator real quick. That's up to you though, of course. So relative frequency is equal to frequency divided by the sum of all frequencies. And we'll do that in the homework in just a bit. A relative frequency distribution lists each category of data together with the relative frequency. Okay. And then you can also construct bar graphs using the number of times something appears in each category. So I don't know, let's say they have a category for the color blue, and blue appears like 40 times, and then there's a green that appears 10 times. Those are the number of times they appear, which is the frequency. So frequency is just asking how many times does that item appear in a category. That's all it is. Very simple. So of course you can just create a bar chart. Green has 40, blue has 10. Does that make sense? In essence, that's all we're doing. Okay. And I'll show you in just a moment with the homework. I don't think we need the definition of a bar graph. Hope that's cool with you. I'm going to skip that part. I'm going to mention the Pareto chart. That one is not as common. So a Pareto chart is a bar graph is a bar graph whose bars are drawn in decreasing order of frequency or relative frequency. So when you see the Paretos, that'll be the highest frequency first, and it'll just go in descending order. Okay, so the biggest one first, second biggest, all the way to the smallest. It's just a decreasing bar chart. It's just all, that's all a Pareto is. Okay. Is it clear what a frequency distribution is, or what we're talking about so far? And if not, let's do some homework problems together. I think that's all I need to mention before we start. Let me see. You guys are all familiar with pie charts, right? We'll talk about it real quick, just in case. I don't want to make assumptions because that gets me in trouble. But I don't think we need a definition. So let's go ahead and switch to the homework. If you can open 2.1 on your computer, that's what we'll, once you look at the same problems I'm looking at. Just give me a second. You guys cool on this page? I'm gonna send it to you either way, but you want me to wait, or you all have the definitions? Okay. If I'm going too fast at any point, just let me know. There's no reason to just speed along. Okay. All right. So the first few questions of every homework is just gonna be vocabulary. So a frequency distribution lists blank of the occurrences of each category of data, while the relative frequency lists the blank. So that's based on your definition. do you guys think the first one is? What do we say frequency does? Right, the big picture. Proportion. It's gonna be the proportion would be for relatives. So you see the word relative, think of the percent of that proportion. It didn't say anything, it's just kind of total. So the total of each pattern. So how many be the number? Okay. Does that make sense? Just a straight up definition, nothing crazy. Should be like this. If I'm wrong, oh well, I'll retire or something. Number two. The formula that we wrote down just a minute ago in your notes. What does it say to do? For relative frequency.
By the frequency of some of all differences.
Yeah, so the relative frequency add up to. The quick answer, only answer about for your choice. Question says. In a relative frequency distribution, what should the relative frequency add up to? So we said they're kind of like percents, right? Proportion. So if they are proportions or percentages, what should they add up to? Yeah, it would be 1, right? 100%. That's just straight up definition. So let me move on to something else. If it lets me. Question 3 is about Pareto, so I'm gonna move on. Let's see here. Yeah, we said Pareto are just bar graphs, right? Starts with the highest one and then decreases. So which one should it be? Assuming you guys have the same questions, right? Number 3. What do you think number 3 is? Let's see. Bar graph is a horizontal or vertical representation of the frequency or relative frequency of the categories. The height of each rectangle represents the category frequency or relative frequency. It's true. But it doesn't mention the descending order, right? That's just the point. There's no D. Oh, you know what? The first one is bar graph. That must be a 2-part question. So we're answering, what is a bar graph? Sorry. I always do that. I always skip ahead. But I read the last part, not the first part. Gets me in trouble. So, what is a bar graph? Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Let's try it. Because if I get it wrong, it doesn't matter, right? But now they're asking, what is a Pareto? Do something really quick. Please share, that way we can see it on the video later. Okay. You said Pareto was which one? The decreasing order of frequency or relative. Yeah, got it. No big deal. Let's see if I can shift to. A bigger screen because it's. I don't like how it looks. Give me a sec. Two, number one. Oh. Yes. There we go. So since I'm not writing anything down about the pie charts, just real quick, right? I should know that the whole pie chart is 100%. And if you slice the sections, those are percent proportions of different categories. So each category is basically the frequency category. So they have this many blues, so that's the section. The smaller slice will be the red, 30%, the smaller slice is green, 6%. So it's a long time, right? So you should be familiar on how it reads, and the whole thing is 100%. Is that part clear? That's well, not really going to ask about it. It might come up in the homework or the exam or the quiz, I guess. I want to make sure you guys know what a pie chart is. There's nothing strange about it. There's no real calculations. All they want you to do is be able to read the chart. And I don't think it's an insane question or anything. Here we can see the Pareto chart decreasing, right? So the categories are MVPs. One Pareto chart shows the position played by the most valuable player in the last 74 years. Okay. So each category are positions. So pull out 1B, 3B. I don't know anything about baseball, so I can tell you what the positions are, but it doesn't matter. We have a bunch of categories. The higher every category is how many times they appeared in that position. So almost 30 MVPs came from this position basically. The last thing is 90. Over here, almost about 15, maybe about 4.5-ish for it in 1B. That's how we read it. How many people, how many items in that category appeared? Frequency is on the left. Okay. Are you comfortable reading a Pareto chart? All right. So you can answer the questions. The position with the most MVPs was obviously outfield. That's what that stands for. Not that. I don't know. Anyway, let's go do some that actually require calculations. Because all of these so far are just reading the definition and reading the chart. And I feel like that's doable, right? Not insane. You would actually want you to use that formula that it gave you. Instead, the right, construct a relative frequency. Then we're gonna need the total of all the categories. And you're gonna divide each category by that total. That's all you have to do. That's it. So I don't know what that total is. But you can click this box right here. And download the data into Excel or StatCrunch, doesn't matter. I guess do Excel this time. Okay, let me share the Excel file here. Okay, I need to be able to edit. So on your machine, you should go do the same. You can download the. Oops. What did I do? You can download the file and then just open it up real quick. If you don't mind. I wasn't minimized. Not bad. So we can do some quick calculations. Is everyone comfortable with Excel? Have you used it before at some point? I feel like you have at least once, right? We're not gonna do anything fancy today. But just right here, type sum. Over here, hit the equals button. We're gonna add up, use the sum function. So if you type equals SUM, it'll bring up a bunch of functions with that abbreviation. So type the first one, double click it. Then it's open and it wants you to select data points. So just go up top and highlight, just hold it down, highlight these sections and press enter. It'll add it up for you. Although the new version of Excel kind of does it automatically, you could just do this too. If you hold it all down here, it automatically tells you the sum and count. So the number of data points. And it also does the average automatically. Just highlighting a cell or a section of cells will do it for you. But there's also functions to do it for you too if you want. Doesn't matter. Let's do the relative frequency for every category. So again, you could do this on your calculator if you want to. I don't really care, but I feel like in most jobs, Excel is a useful tool, so you might as well practice. Might as well. So hit equals. Type in the data value. Divide by. I'll just type it in to be safe. 2322. That's the sum, right? Now, once you've created a formula, you can drag it down and it should copy the formula. It should be smart enough to know this one divided by 2322, this by 2322, etc. Should automatically do it. And if you double click it, you can see, is it correct? I don't know. Let's find out. B6 is 24 divided by 2322, which is the total. We're good, right? So you can kind of go through it and see if you're paranoid. So in the homework, over here, you'll just type in that relative frequency here. And it'll tell you what to round to. It says 3 decimal places. Any questions on the Excel stuff or yes? Oh, it equals SUM? It should pop up into it. I think it's right. Well, I'm sorry. Yes. If you have Excel. Put a stack. It might be in there. You don't have Excel. Yeah, it is. Yeah, feels like a terabyte for you. But if you're doing a stack match, you might as well just pull out your calculator, just I don't know. Just a few points, don't really need stack match for this type of problem. And just dividing by. I just want you to practice with Excel just because it's useful. But I will switch back and forth between Stack Crunch and Excel. Okay. Any other question on number 7? Does that seem doable? It's not too bad, right? Number 8, same deal, I think. Let's see. Yeah. This time, let's use let's see, what we got? Construct a relative frequency distribution for the energy provided. Using that chart on the right, we're going to see you do before. Where the ones for men and the ones for women. So find the total for all men, all women, and then divide every single data point. That's all you got to do. Exactly. Stack Crunch has real simple functions for bar graphs. They really, I mean, both Excel and Stack Crunch can do it. So it doesn't really matter. But if you go to graph and then go to bar plot, choose data. You can make a bar plot for men. And I'll ask you, do you want it to stack bars, split bars, separate? You can also do the relative frequency or just a normal frequency, percentages. And if we value by descending, that would be a Pareto, right? So you can kind of force it to be a Pareto here. Let's try it, see what happens. I don't think that came out right. Can't see those. Next round. Okay. Oh, I see what it did. It took it as categorical data points, but saying that the number 43 appeared once. And number 25 appeared once. Doesn't make, this is not helpful at all, right? I don't know. I bet. Give me a second. Why it does that? What make a difference? I think it's a little easier, in my opinion. I'm trying to give Stack Crunch a chance, but right now, oh, bad. If you have Excel open, you download that question to Excel. You'll have to highlight the whole thing. Go to insert and choose chart. Right, the one right here that's a partner. Here. Just pick 2D column and it'll automatically put it into A, B, C, D, not sure categories, and then it'll automatically highlight men and women. Pretty nice. But I'll have to check what's wrong with, what am I missing with that Stack Crunch. Number 10. These are categorical data points. They're not numbers, right? They're just text. It seems like Stack Crunch likes these types of questions. So I'm gonna give it one more chance. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work now. So if you open in Stack Crunch, right? We can go to, where is it? So there to go. Go to stat tables and then frequency. Pick variable 1, frequency and relative. So this time it actually did it. And tells us how many times the word down appeared in this column. Tells you how many times no change here and the word up. The 14, 4, 12, these are the frequency distribution right here. When you make your bar charts, it'll be based on this. This Pareto would be first down, up, and then no change. Right. Well, this is the formula we were using, dividing each one by the total. That's about it. The Stack Crunch works perfectly with these types of data points. I think there's something, there's got to be an option for it to work on the other one that I'm not seeing it at the moment. I'm sorry about that. I will check them. But for now, Excel does both, whatever. All right, for the last 10 minutes, just please work on your homework and let me know if you need help. Get stuck or something. Come help you out.